Pisambula Vinaka. So we have with us USP PhD candidate Salanieta Kitoleilei, and it is our honor to have you. And thank you for taking out the time in between your lunch and tea to give us this small bite. So I've been listening to you throughout the conference and very inspired by everything that you have been sharing with us in regards to indigenous knowledge. So my first question will be, share with us more about the research that you are doing.
Thank you for the question, and it's an honor to be here. My research is on the traditional and indigenous knowledge of fishes in Fiji, and what I basically study is I go as a student to go and learn from the fishes, their point of view on how they look at their environment. So what happens is they have unique knowledge systems in place to help them catch fish, and they have understanding of different keystone species are species which are important for the functioning of an environment.
Yeah.
So keystone and cultural keystone species are those which are culturally important. So these are two things which people ignore when it comes to conservation. So these are some of the things that I try and bring up,
Right.
so that we can help conserve or better manage our resources in Fiji.
Amazing. So how can, because this was a youth-oriented conference,
Yeah.
so how can our youth lend a hand in protecting indigenous knowledge?
Okay. And before you protect something, it has to be endangered. So,
Okay.
so indigenous knowledge, yes,
Yes.
it is endangered in Fiji and across the Pacific. It's because it's not shared. A lot of it has been lost. A lot of it has not been transmitted to the next generation. So one of the things that youth can do is just be interested. Sit and listen to maybe your grandfather telling a story or grandmother talking
And
about.
document it?
Yes. Try and document it, or if it's against your culture, just listen, because you'll be the median who goes and shares the knowledge to the next person. And another thing is, if you're scared to ask questions to your elders, you just sit and you listen to them. And because sometimes our elders, even though we're not listening, they're always sharing snippets and treasures
Yes.
that we tend to ignore.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, like 5 years later, then you realize, oh my gosh, I should have listened. So
True.
those
Yes.
are some of the ways which the young people can bridge the gap
Yes.
in
Yes.
the knowledge.
You're so correct. I'm also part of a charitable trust apart from working at PCF. So this is my volunteer thing I do with Fiji Pyramid Foundation. I'm the general secretary in New Zealand, and we started learning about our heritage. What was the integral part of our community and all of that. And what you said, now I realize my grandmother was always talking about these things, but we were hardly listening. And for me, I think it's a bit too late now that I want to go back and learn about some of these practices, or even maybe a cooking style. Some of those things that were there, and we might never get it back because we didn't listen. I didn't listen. I cannot blame anybody else there. So that's a very good suggestion. Young people to listen, document if it's possible to. If it's sacred, then cherish it, pass it on wherever it's applicable. Yes. So where is the gap in the knowledge?
Yeah, the gap in the knowledge is, from my research in fishing, it's in the language and how we use the language, the knowledge system. Because in the Pacific, what is unique is how we use our language to name our resources.
Right.
How we name our resources. For example, the coconut. The coconut, if we look at it, the scientists, they have one name, Cocos nucifera. That's what is used all over the world. So if you say Cocos nucifera, everyone knows exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
But then when you go to a Fijian community, they'll tell you the different names in their local language for the varieties. So we have Nyondamu for the red version,
Right.
Nyumanyu for the one that's used for making sinet,
Yes.
mangi, and then you have other varieties. So this is important knowledge, and that's where one of the gaps remains in the Pacific, because if you don't know what is around us, we won't be able to protect it well.
True.
Yeah. So it also creates awareness of the environment and how people interact with the environment and how the knowledge is influenced by what is around us.
Wow. So the mangi mangi actually comes from a particular type of coconut and not all coconut?
No, don't try it. You have to find the correct nut in order to make the
amazing information that I didn't know. I would have just gone out and saying mangi mangi coconut and then
start planting.
start planting.
Yes.
And we cannot have coconuts here, so we miss those. And how can we bridge this gap?
Okay, for bridging the gap is like what we mentioned already. One is to listen to our elders, not only our listening to the elders, but another way is for our elders to listen to us,
True.
to the youth, because dialogue is a two-way communication channel. So if the channel is shut on the other side, or if your telephone line is broken from the other side, the knowledge will not go across.
Right.
Same way, if a bridge is broken, you can't cross that bridge to be able to understand the differences in knowledge and everything. So what happens is you just basically have to listen, and you have to have that passion to learn.
Right.
To learn and also take that knowledge with you everywhere. And for us in the Pacific, one thing that is interesting and unique, and it shows the beauty of our culture, is how we embody the knowledge in our values and our beliefs, and how we portray that to the outside, to everyone that's looking at us.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And we still have youth out there who are interested in learning, right? Like from this conference, we learned so much that young people want to learn, young people want to preserve, but maybe a bit of direction here and there.
For direction wise, they have to see that traditional and indigenous knowledge doesn't focus only on fishing. You have knowledge on medicine, you have knowledge on agriculture, food and nutrition, all these different knowledge systems. They are like a science in our tertiary education. So as a science, we can always include or incorporate traditional knowledge so that it brings up the value and also the health of our people, so that we can always appreciate what is around us.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure our listeners would learn so much from your knowledge and about the importance of indigenous knowledge, preserving of knowledge, and sharing of knowledge, understanding this knowledge. And you are with us today, Pacific Cooperation Foundation, on our Small Talk Back show, not really a Talk Back show, podcast, Talk with Angie. And really appreciate your time once again. Thank you.